Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Wednesday, the 23rd of March, comes to you from London. And I've just started by I've been looking at this chart of UK gas, MBP, and this is the daily line here. The green line is the on-balance volume measure, where we come up with a volume indicator, subtracting the volume on the down days and adding the volume on the up days. And this shows us the accumulation in volume in UK gas, and now we're seeing a distribution. So it's really quite interesting. And this chart here just shows the spread, and there's the volume. Something I'll be posting on LinkedIn today, and I just push the LinkedIn button there to post that directly to LinkedIn. So let's start by looking at the markets in general. We are seeing dollar strength, which means a lot of the other currencies are falling. That's the red. Markets are green, so they're generally up, taking things in their stride. Commodities on the whole look to be rising as well. So all in all, markets are quite perky today. The dollar index is pushing higher. It's in a short-term uptrend, remembering this is my weekly, daily and 60-minute chart. So here we see the rising trends there. That means the euro is weaker against the dollar, bearish on all three time frames, and just nudging this 110 level, which is going to be psychologically important for the euro. The Japanese yen is holding this 120 level, really significant. We've activated an upside target 34% higher, and this is a really big move. Yen weakness mostly, but it is a good lead indicator for the dollar, so we should expect to see the dollar rising further. Sterling sitting at 132 against the dollar, so just falling away there, but still short-term bullish, just recovering off that 130 floor. But don't be surprised to see that coming under pressure again with these targets. And looking at sterling against the euro, we're back above the 120 level, so sterling has the upper hand here. We did make a 6-year high, the first post-Brexit high that we've seen. So quite key there. Looking at Bitcoin, we're sitting at $42,000, still pretty steady, bullish above the cloud, just about to cross into bullish territory on the medium-term chart, and looking like we're finding support on the cloud. So still have this 83,000 target in train, provided we don't go lower than the low that we saw in 2021. The S&P 500 index was up 1% yesterday, coming back to cloud support. We do need to be wary of the lower high than the lower low scenario. We still have this target hanging over us, 2 downside targets here, so that's quite key. If we get another thrust lower, that will give us a new target. So we do need to just be aware that we are short, medium term, bearish below the cloud, and until we get back above the cloud, and we've got a lot of work to do that, then the market is still cautious. The Nasdaq, similar picture, of course. We're bearish below the cloud here as well. We did find cloud support the first time, but the key thing will be, if we set a lower low, we will be below the cloud. And of course, as time goes on, we have less work to do to get below the cloud. The S&P futures are down very slightly this morning, so a flat opening predicted there. The VIX volatility is sitting in the low 20s, so no big deal there. The FTSE future in the UK is up 0.7%. Of course, still struggling to make new highs, just hitting cloud resistance here. The UK faring better than most markets at the moment. If we look at the DAX in Germany, it's had a really sharp fall and is still a long way below its cloud. We've got to get above 15,000 on the DAX to be really confident that we're back in the game. But for the moment, Germany has been pretty hard hit with the Ukraine-Russia situation. Japan continues to surge, up another 2%. Weaker yen really helping Japanese earnings there. And if we look at the Hang Seng, of course, it's had a very volatile week or two, having really spiked down to that 18,000 level. We have had a sharp recovery, but the reality is we are again below the cloud here. Similar in China. The Sensex was down 0.3% in India, again struggling to get back above the cloud. And the Aussie market is really still the only Western market that hasn't activated that downside target. We've got a new upside target. That's really unusual, given what we're seeing in other markets. The resource-laden Aussie index, of course, is benefiting from the rise in resources. We'll look at the energy mix in a minute. Wheat continues to edge higher, so having found that floor, looks like we're building a new base to run again, so watch that. Keep an eye on the shorter term targets if you're trading softs. Corn is up 0.3%, and gold sitting at 1925, just struggling in these low 1900 area, and we see that flatlining there on gold. Looks like 1900 is a pretty clear support level. We did mess around with 1800 for ages, remember. We may end up doing the same with 1900, but the charts longer, medium term, are still bullish. Silver is up nearly 1% this morning. It has work to do to really get to a big breakout, but still looking pretty good. And palladium is up another 3%. Russia being a third of palladium production globally is a factor there. Copper continues to look strong. We pulled back from that high there, but we are bullish on all three time frames. And if we look at US 10-year yields, we're sitting at 2.37% now, looking very bullish indeed. You have to go to bigger box sizes now to get the targets, but for the fact is we're looking very, very bullish. Inflationary pressures in Western markets is driving bond yields higher, of course, with central banks looking to raise rates further. Brent Crude, we'll start with Brent Crude. It's up 0.75% this morning, so looking pretty strong there. WTI also looking quite good. We did go out as neutral today. The pattern's just pulling back a little bit, mixed targets. And of course, you can see that in our report out this morning with all the trends and targets. So we do cover that. Looking at US nat gas, we did break $5 yesterday, and that's put us back into more bullish mode. We've got some good upside targets here. So US nat gas looking like it's trending higher, looking stronger. Coal sitting at 180, so it did recover a bit yesterday. Found that floor. That's going to be pretty critical, this one sort of 60 level on coal, so need to watch that, and good recovery there. Emissions just really struggling at this 80 level. It's the weak breakout that is a slight concern, but we do still have upside targets and an uptrend in the short term. So we did go out as bullish there this morning. Gas prices, we were neutral. We are below the cloud on the shorter term chart, but we do have these upside targets, and we're up 4% this morning. So that's looking quite key. The same with MBP. As well. And if we look at German power, up 1.2%. Again, we were neutral, but we've built this base looking like we're starting to run again. Of course, the long-term trend is still very, very much up. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.